Hey guys, thank you for tuning in to the first episode of our new podcast. Today, we'll be discussing our backgrounds, where we're from, and why we wanted to start our new channel. Sit back, relax, and let's go for a walk. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to an episode of Let's Go for a Walk with me, Christian, and my wife, Marissa. Marissa?
Hi.
Okay.
I'm Marissa.
We're on a beautiful Saturday morning for our first episode, which really isn't our first episode. We actually already recorded multiple episodes, but we were using microphones that were not very good. And I was on the verge of pulling my hair out trying to edit those, and it took way too long. So Marissa and I said, screw it, we ball, and we bought some nice microphones. Oh, hello, dog.
Oh
We
my
bought
gosh,
some.
how cute are
Oh,
you
so many
guys?
dogs.
Oh my
They just
gosh.
multiplied.
Hey.
Sorry. So we got some new nice microphones, and here we are on this beautiful Carolina morning for a first episode, really episode 3, but actually episode 1.
Exactly.
Okay. I thought you were going to keep going. Well, it's so weird to have to go back and re-say things now because we've already said them, so I feel like I'm
Yeah.
hashing things out.
But we can kind of explain what the premise is and kind of go through that because it's not too complicated.
Right.
It's really simple.
For those of you who might have stumbled upon us from my own personal YouTube channel, you've already seen the explanation of what this is, but Let's Go for a Walk is just a podcast with me, Christian, and my wife, Marissa, and it's exactly what it sounds like. We're going for a walk. We have lav mics on. We're just going for a walk, talking about life, chopping it up.
And the fun thing about this walking podcast is you get the little background sounds of cars going by, people talking as they walk by us, birds chirping.
Hopefully so. Oh, look at that cute dog.
So many cute dogs this morning.
And the distractions of us getting caught up looking at things. Hopefully these mics will pick up a little bit of background sound. We don't want them to pick up a ton of stuff. Before, we were trying to cheese it and we were using like the wired iPhone earbuds, and we thought we'd be able to get away with that, which for some reason mine worked really well, but Marissa's didn't.
And mine
And-
were brand spanking
And
new.
Marissa's were, what are they, $20?
Yeah, they were $19.99 and I bought them the day before and was like, this will be so slay. This will
$20
work.
brand spanking new wired Apple earbuds, and they were absolute horse nuts. And then for some reason mine was completely fine. So like Marissa said, we're hoping you could pick up a little bit of background sound, and it's just us going for a stroll, just two people talking about life.
Yeah.
So I guess what we'll do now is talk about ourselves and who we are so people have a better understanding. Marissa, you can go ahead and start us off.
Okay, I'm Marissa. I'm 25, pretty freshly 25 as of last month. I now live in North Carolina, right outside of Charlotte with my husband, Christian. I'm not originally from here. I'm from Pennsylvania, where I lived for the majority of my life. And we got married about 7 months ago. Is it 7 months today?
Oh my gosh, yeah, it is 7 months ago today.
It's 7 months today. And we've been together for 2 years and 7 months because we got married exactly 2 years and 2 days after we started dating.
It's kind of a crazy day today because this is our first episode, technically, with our new mics. It's our 7-month anniversary. It's my dad's birthday today. And then it's also one of our friends' birthday that we're gonna go spend the day with after this. So
Oh, it's tomorrow. His birthday's tomorrow.
they didn't need to know that, but okay.
Well, it's not all today.
But it's a pretty stacked day. We have a pretty stacked day. Anyway, continue. Did you have anything else?
I think that's really all I have to say. If you want to know what I do for work, I work with babies in like sort of a medical setting, but I don't have a degree, so do with that what you will. I think that's good for now. Tell us about you, babes.
I am from North Carolina, small town outside of Charlotte, and Marissa and I met in film school in Orlando, Florida. Okay. Sorry, Marissa just went and grabbed my keys out of my
They
pocket.
were jingling, and I bet they could hear it the whole time.
I doubt it. That really threw me off. What was I talking about?
You're Christian. You live in a small town outside of Charlotte, North Carolina. That's all you've
Yes.
got.
So Marissa and I met in film school in Orlando, and that is where we fell in love. That's where we met each other. And then after school was over, Marissa was going to go back to her sad little small town in middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania. And I was going back to where I live, and I was like, hey, you should come check this place out. This place is pretty cool, which wasn't much of a hard sell considering where Marissa is from. I think it sounds like it's hell on earth. It's really not that bad. It's just very boring.
And
So-
also, the town that he lives in is literally a Hallmark movie. So,
Yeah, it's not even real. Here, you want to cross the street here?
yeah.
Yeah, I live in a very, we live, I grew
We
up
live now.
in a very cute little southern Hallmark Channel town. And that's where we're kicking it now. And I'm trying to think of what else would
What do you
be
do for
good
work?
intro stuff. Oh, I work for a pretty noteworthy video production company. I don't want to say specifics, but I do work for one pretty big client and maybe a very big client coming up that I learned just as of yesterday. So things could change. It's looking big.
You do podcasts. What else?
Do podcasts. I might be doing stuff for an individual person, running their social media coming up. Possibly, maybe, we'll see. What else do they do?
Anything and anything you want. They do documentaries. They're going to be running somebody's YouTube channel.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. So
anything production related, really.
yeah, that is the only thing that I really enjoy doing is like video production stuff. I had that, you know, when people get out of school and you're just trying to get whatever you can get, and you get like those stupid jobs that you don't want to do at all. I've done all of them, and I finally have this video production job that I enjoy, and that's what I like to do. So whether it's Marissa and I with our own podcast or my YouTube channel, Sick Boy, where I make my own YouTube stuff, I just love making videos, the process of editing and being creative and coming up with something. So I'm big on that. Not that Marissa isn't, but I think I would say I have more of a passion for it than she does. Would you say that?
I mean, it's not a competition,
It's not a competition.
but I feel like my passion was ruined with a few jobs that I had right out of school where it was just like sit at a desk and do the thing. There was no creativity. It was like I had a skill and they said use it and shut up.
Yeah.
So it was kind of ruined for me, but recently Christian had a YouTube video that he did. Check it out. And I was his camera woman. So if you like the camera work, that's me. If you like the comedy, that's him.
Yeah, Marissa did
And the editing is him.
Marissa did a really good job on that video. The video is called The Race Car That Changed My Life. And it's like a satirical, like over the top video where I talk about like this race car, and I've gotten in this accident where it flipped like 20 times and I died and came back to life 3 times. And really it's just me showcasing my 2012 Toyota Prius C. So
Spoiler alert.
yeah, I mean, you'll see if you go watch it. It's a funny little thing, but we literally, there's a mall that's not very far from where we live
Oh boy.
that is like, it looks like something out of the apocalypse. No one ever goes there. It's just got this big empty parking lot. And I was like, you know what, Marissa? I have this idea that I want to film. There was no script. There was no instruction. I would just tell Marissa, start recording now and
Start
stop
it
recording
and
now.
Stop it. And we just went with it.
And it ended up being what I think is the best video on my channel. I really enjoyed it.
I think it's hilarious, but then again, we have like similar sense of humor and I'm your wife. So I think it's funny, but
Yeah, and Marissa, getting back to the point I was having, is I did not give her any instruction to do anything with the camera at all. And it was like we were on the same wavelength. Like I would move a certain way and she would follow me, or she would like zoom in or zoom out on certain times, and it was perfect. So she did a really good job.
I can be funny.
She can be.
I am funny.
She's pretty funny. She's pretty funny. So that's a quick little something about us. I'm trying to think that the other episodes we did that ended up not working, I feel like we went a lot more in depth, and because we're so used to it, we're like kind of skipping over it. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, I mean, we went through how we met. I don't know if that's interesting, or how we got engaged, the story of that.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Or our inspirations for our own podcast. Like, yeah, we could talk about that. I think that makes sense. Marissa, if you want to kick off your like inspirations of the podcasts you like.
Yeah. I'm a big podcast girly. I got into podcasts, I don't know, a few years ago, and I've kind of gone through phases of like certain ones I'd like and then I'd stop listening to, but there are some certain ones that have just stuck with me this whole time. So I'll give them a little shout out to the Brooke and Connor podcast with Brooke and Connor, obviously. And then I also love Giggly Squad, my girls Paige and Hannah. They are so funny. And hopefully Hannah comes to Charlotte on her tour. Hannah, if you're listening, come to Charlotte on your tour.
I'll be so for real with you. Hannah is not listening.
Okay, well, she could. It's a free podcast that she could listen to.
Sure.
And I'm also a huge fan of Two Hot Takes with Morgan. We went and saw them live in Charlotte.
We did. That was
when
a
they
good
were in
time. They were
Charlotte
funny.
Last year or the year before.
I think it was 2 years ago.
So those are like my go-tos. There's been some other ones that have come and gone, but those are like I think these are funny and timeless, and these people are hilarious. So that's what I've got. What about you, babes?
For those of you who are like really YouTube savvy, Chuckle Sandwich with Jay Schlatt and Ted Nivison. It's a really good podcast that I didn't watch it as they were coming out with it. I used to work for Coca-Cola as a merchandiser, and I would be the guy who would go into the stores and like put the drinks up on the shelves and make it look good and everything. So I started listening to their podcast while I was working, and their podcast, I'm pretty sure, spans over 4 years, and I listened to almost all of it within, I don't know, 6 months, maybe a little bit longer than that. And right now I'm almost finally caught up with 4 episodes left, and I've stopped because I can't bring myself to finish it because I love it so much and I don't want it to end. But Chuckle Sandwich, their podcast, is one of my inspirations. I really like. They're these guys. I used to be super heavy into, I don't know if I'd say super heavy, but I used to be into gaming a lot more than I am now. Kind of changes when you get married and you have a full-time job and a wife. And there's a group called the Goons where they are just like literal idiots. Like a lot of their podcasts just end up with them talking about like farts and burping. So not a lot of substance matter, but they're pretty funny. And
Peak male humor.
yeah, like really peak 16 to 25-year-old male humor. Let's see. Goons, Chuckle Sandwich. I feel like there's another one that I'm missing out on that I like to listen to. Oh, Conan O'Brien, who used to have a TV show. Now he has his own podcast, which I think is it Conan and Friends? Or Conan has a podcast? I haven't listened to it in a while, and now I seem like a fake fan because I can't even remember the name. But that was a pretty good one that I was heavy on for a while that I enjoyed. So I think Marissa and I have 2 very different tastes. Like it's almost crazy that we're married because we're 2 very different people.
Yeah, not just with podcasts, with most things in life.
Yeah, senses of humor. It's like we are different, and then if the 2 of us are a Venn diagram, the 2 circles, there's like that little,
It interlaps.
like golden
Intersects.
sliver in the middle. So those are 2 very different. Mine is stupid boy humor sprinkled with like internet and video games, and then Marissa's is, I don't know, how would you describe your podcast taste?
Podcasts or just sense of humor?
I mean, I guess either.
I kind of like some like pop culture, just silly. Yeah, I just like to laugh. And what I think is funny is like Paige and Hannah are best friends, and they talk about like their lives and what happens to them, and the way they tell it is just funny to me. And their relationship is just like the ideal female friendship. So stuff like that. And Brooke and Connor, best friends. I don't know. It's just something about it.
So as far as podcasts go, that's where we stand. I'm trying to think of what other interesting, where else do we differ or agree on?
We could talk about fashion.
I mean, I guess if you want to. Well, I'm interested to see what you have to say about this, the differences in our fashion styles.
So my style comes from comfort with a little bit of like vintage. I like an old sweater sort of vibe. And like athletic clothes. Like I'm wearing athletic clothes right now because we're on a walk, but I wear that. That's like my go-to. And then Christian has like a very wide variety. I don't want to speak for you, but a wide variety of style where it's like one day he'll dress like he's a gentleman in the 50s. And then the next day he'll be wearing like cargo pants and a t-shirt from Oklahoma that has like 6 different cats on it, but you have to look for the cats. So it's like kind of nerdy, kind of cool. What do you have to say?
Yeah, I view clothing or styles as like music. It's kind of difficult to be like, oh, this is my favorite genre, because it depends on the mood you're in. So there's some days I have like an OG dubstep playlist from 2012 that I made when I was like 10 years old. And some days I'm like, this is it. I'm listening to this all day. And then some days I want to listen to Frank Sinatra, Perry Como, Dean Martin. I want to listen to that all day. So it's the same thing with clothing. Some days I want to dress in slacks and a white button-up. And then some days I'm wearing my Happy Birthday Grimace t-shirt with sweatpants. And Marissa, what I will add to her clothing tastes or style is Marissa probably won't admit to it, but is definitely a perfectionist. Like if something doesn't absolutely satisfy her, then she's not gonna do it or go with it or utilize it.
Unfortunately, yes.
So I think Marissa could have more style and more variation, but she is so picky and is so precise about her clothing that she seeks perfection and she'll never find it. So she's just in this never-ending loop of, I want to buy new clothes, I need new clothes. We go look at clothes. I don't like any of these. I hate myself. This is garbage. I need new clothes. I want new clothes.
You've just explained the female experience.
Yeah, maybe that's just for all the ladies out there, but Marissa definitely, like there was a day, I think I had gotten a bonus or something from work, and it was $500. And I was like, Marissa, we're gonna go out, we're gonna go all of these different thrift shops, these different stores, and you spend this $500 however you please. We came home with $500.
No, we bought one sweater at a vintage store, and it was for both of us.
Oh, the cool cat
It's
sweater.
a cat Christmas sweater, and
Yeah.
it is sick.
That was a worthy purchase. But even then, that wasn't like,
I need new clothes, this is what I need. Because it was, I think that was in like springtime.
yeah, and well, what I was gonna say is it's not even like a Marissa solely sweater. Like that was one for us to both share because it's cool and it's like a big baggy, cozy thing.
So when it comes to clothes, I said already, comfort over everything. Like if something is too tight or it doesn't feel right or it's sitting weird and I feel it, like I can't wear it. And I also don't like when things don't match. So anyone can testify to this. 95% of the shoes I own are just white. I have white tennis sneakers. I have white like Nike sneakers, white fancy shoes, like they're all white because I need stuff to match. You know what, we won't go there, but I just like when things match, so it's a little tough for me to venture.
And not that it's a bad thing, but to add to that, Marissa just has like the same 6 shirts that she wears all the time, which is not a bad thing, but if we're on the topic of fashion, it's like you can only create so many different outfits or combos with 6 shirts. I have a wide variety of clothing and different options, but I will just pick the same 6 shirts. It's not very often you'll see me going out of my way to dress differently or go about a different style. you really got to be, like I said, you got to be in the mood. It depends on the day, depends on the vibes, as the kids say.
And it's funny you brought up music as well to describe your style, because I think that's also where we differ. Good morning. That's also where we differ, is like I will listen to anything that's new, or like if I find an album I like, I'll listen to it until I hate it.
Oh yeah, Marissa is very, she's a big hyperfixation girl. She doesn't go out of her comfort zone very much. And then when she does find that one new thing that she likes, she will beat it to the ground until she's sick of it. And then
until I know every word, and then I'm like, okay, I'll come back to this in a few months.
Basically, she's a parasite.
Okay, I don't know where you got that. But
I
think
that one thing and
I just
suck
think
it
it's
all
funny.
out. I just think it's funny that
I think it started with Billie Eilish's Hit Me Hard and Soft. That album was so good, and I just kept listening to it because I just enjoyed almost every song. And then I was like, I'm getting tired of this. And then I got into that routine of like listening to the same thing, so I just found something else to latch on. And it's like I don't feel satisfied when I don't have something. So if there's like a period of time where nothing new has come out, I'll like go back to my older stuff. So I had that phase with Sabrina Carpenter, Billie Eilish, Jenny, and now I'm on Taylor Swift's new album.
oh, yikes.
But okay, you say that, but I'm not one to be like, you have to listen to this in the car.
Yeah,
like, I don't push it on you. It's for me.
She's not becoming a Swiftie, and it's not like then like, oh my gosh, Marissa listens to Taylor Swift. Just me personally, I am not a Taylor Swift fan. I think all her music sounds the same, and then some of her lyrics are super cheesy. So when Marissa brings up Taylor Swift, that's why I do the harumph or the sigh. Taylor Swift's really not that bad, and Marissa's not a Swiftie where she like wakes up in the morning and gets on her knees and bows down to a Taylor Swift poster on the wall. But on the topic of music, Marissa is very surface level of like popular songs or people who are out at the moment. And I'm the guy on like Spotify or YouTube where I'm finding that person or song that has like 3 views. I'm like, oh, this is a banger. This is good. I would say my music is similar to my clothing taste, is that there's a wide variety. And like I said earlier, I'll listen to dubstep, I'll listen to like old crooner music, I'll listen to rock and roll. A favorite genre of mine is Japanese fusion funk, which if you haven't listened to that or you have no idea what that is, it's like twangy beach music, kind of like upbeat, jazzy beach music, and you're missing out. You gotta try that out.
Look it up.
So I'd say a lot of Marissa's culture, I don't want to say shocks, but what am I trying to say when you learn something new? Experiences?
I guess, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what context you're talking.
Okay, well I would say a lot of Marissa's like experiences of trying something new or doing something new, not that I'm like God or anything, but have come from me in that sense of like I'm a much more adventurous, outgoing person.
Oh yeah.
And Marissa is not, which is fine. I'm not banging
That's
it.
just how I grew up. Like I don't think my family is super adventurous or tries new things very often. So that was just like what I thought was normal. And then I met Christian, and like every night he would want to go do something or try something, or I don't know, like in Orlando, there's the biggest McDonald's in the United States or the world.
I'm pretty sure it's the world.
Right in downtown Orlando. He's like, you want to go to McDonald's? And I'm like, I guess. Do you want to go to the biggest McDonald's in the world?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
You want to go have a pizza at a McDonald's? That's what they have.
Yeah, they had pizza.
They have that McDonald's serves pizza.
So it's like, I didn't know I wanted those things because I didn't know it existed. And now that I know, like, oh, you can't just like go out and experience life, I'm like dying to experience life.
I'm a really big, like, we can get into this in maybe another episode, but Marissa and I are Christians, and I'm very big on like, God has created this beautiful world with so many things in it that it almost seems like a disservice to not want to try and experience or go about doing different things. And you know, the whole like you only have one life, enjoy it while you got it, make the most of it. I am terrible at sitting still. I love doing things. Like I'm not someone who's just gonna sit on my phone for a long time. I wouldn't really say I'm someone who's on my phone a lot. I mean, there's definitely times where I am because I'm a sucker for YouTube, but I'm very big and like, Marissa, let's go do this today. Marissa, let's do this. Marissa, let's do this. And I'm sure that probably annoys or gets old to Marissa at some point, but I'm very, you got to enjoy life while you got it kind of guy.
Well, on that note, it doesn't get annoying to me, first. Second, it's like I felt like I lived my life one way for so long. And my family, I'm not knocking them in any way, but like we would go on vacation maybe once a year, go to like the same place we always go, sometimes not even go on vacation. So like to go out and experience life now, it's like I'm catching up for missed time. Like I want those experiences, I want to go to new places, I want to have fun.
Yeah,
so
like
it's just a different way of life that I want to try.
Even now that Marissa and I haven't been with each other like for that long in the grand scheme of things, we're still trying to figure out new places to go to that neither one of us have been to, because right now it's been like Marissa lived a sheltered life where she didn't really do much, and then I'm like, oh Marissa, we got to go here, and they're all places I've been, but I want to share them with Marissa. Now we're trying to get better about, let's go somewhere neither one of us have been, so it's a new experience for the two of us, which leads me into us. Our 1 year anniversary is in March, and we're trying to go to Spain for our anniversary, which neither one of us have definitely been to, and I feel like would be a super fun experience. If not Spain, then somewhere in America, you know, like a Montana or maybe even Hawaii. I have always wanted to go to Hawaii.
This could be an interactive thing. Leave a comment below.
Leave a comment below, guys. Spain or Hawaii. Let us know down in the comments. Smack that like button.
If you have any recommendations for anywhere in the United States that would be a good week trip in the month of March, hit us up in the comments below.
Yeah, Montana might be difficult in the month of March because there's still snow for that.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
They have really long winters, but then that's also the fun side of like, we're going to Montana when it's snowing. Like bundling up, we're in sweaters, skiing.
I've also never been skiing, so like,
yeah,
I feel like Montana would be a great place to try.
A little lore drop for you. My dad was in the military for 20 years, and when I was a wee lad, I'll say I'm from North Carolina and grew up here because I moved here when I was 4. No, that's a lie.
I thought you were 8.
Yeah, I'm way off on that. Sorry, I don't even know who I am. I moved here when I was 8. We moved to Montana when I was 4. So I was born in Georgia. I was just a wee little baby. My dad was in the military.
Just a little crit.
We went to Montana, and then we were there for 4 years, and then we moved to North Carolina, and then I've grown up here and lived here most of my life. But all that to say, when I was like 6 years old, skiing is huge in Montana. So we go skiing pretty often, and I'm like a 6-year-old on the Black Diamond, like the hardest. I am just tearing it up. Now, I haven't been skiing since then. That was maybe
Age drop.
like 15 years ago. It's been a really long time. So I could suck or be terrible at it. And then Marissa's never been. And not that we couldn't go skiing anywhere closer, like in Virginia or even some places in North Carolina sometime. But North Carolina and like these East Coast, we get like icy, sludgy poop snow, and Montana is like the nice, fluffy Hallmark card. You know, the girl is like putting it up to her face with the camera, and then she blows the snowflakes into the lens. That's the good stuff.
You know the vibe.
Yeah, we want the good stuff. If we were to go, I'm a big Hawaii guy. I feel like a lot of people forget Hawaii. Oh, okay. Sorry. I was in the middle of talking and this SUV drove by and the back door is wide open. There's just a lawnmower hanging out of it. I feel like a lot of people forget that Hawaii is part of America. Like not even just a US territory, like literally
a state.
Hawaii is a state. I feel like so many people forget that because it's just so out there. And we actually went to a Bible study for our little growth group at church not too long ago. And some guy wasn't there and they're like, oh yeah, I can't remember his name, Brad. Brad isn't here because he's on a trip to Hawaii, and I'm like, oh man, I want to go to Hawaii so bad.
And we also live on the opposite side of the country.
That's
so
true. So it would be
the flight would be really long.
Yeah, it would be a crazy. I think even from California to Hawaii, it's like maybe 12 hours.
No.
It's some.
I don't think so.
What is it?
I don't know for sure, but
Oh, I thought
it's
you were.
like 16 hours from here, so there's no way it's 12 from California.
I thought for some reason from California it was still a really long flight.
No. I mean, depending where you are in California, of course.
Yeah, because Northern California is a big state.
Yeah.
I mean, now you think about it.
Spoiler alert, California's big.
Yeah, in case you guys didn't know, California is a big state. Just throwing that out there. Speaking of places, do you want to talk about where you grew up anymore at all? Or do you want me to start laying it down?
About where I live?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can get Marissa's
Wait.
version or Christian's version.
Okay, so I lived in a small town, probably like 2 hours away from Philly, but also like 5 hours away from Pittsburgh, so like no big city. Don't get it twisted. It was kind of like a farm town sort of thing. Like you pass at least 6 cornfields on the way to school, that sort of vibe. Let me see. My high school, I graduated with like 142 kids, so not very big. And I don't know, the most exciting thing to do, people would go to this thing called the Buck. Have I ever told you about this?
This is new to me.
I'm trying to think of like what was cool. It's so hard for me to put myself back there. But my dad took us one time, and there's also like a local place that does it where they do tractor pulls or like truck pulls, where it's like this big truck that's like suited up, has all these different things, is like huge and loud, and then they put like a weight behind it and they like blow a horn and the truck has to like floor it to see how far they can get with this huge weight on the back.
This is the most redneck, rural Pennsylvania bored thing I have ever heard in my life.
Same thing with tractors, they would do the same thing. Or like there's a yearly thing called the Farm Show.
Oh my gosh.
Where it's like a big complex in a city pretty close by, where like people would show their animals, and there would be there's a huge butter sculpture that they do every year.
Oh man.
See, talking about it, it's something that was so normalized to me, and then when I talk to other people or bring it up to other people, it's like, what in the world? Also, we live really close to a pretty big Amish community. So, also from our growth group, pretty funny, we're still pretty new to that church, and they were asking about like where I'm from, and I'm from Pennsylvania, and they're like, oh, what part? And it's always like, are you from Philly? No. Pittsburgh? No. But with these people, they were like, have you ever heard of Bird in Hand? Or have you ever heard of Lancaster? I'm like, okay, weird. I lived like across the river, probably 40 minutes from where they're talking about. These people vacationed from North Carolina to drive to Pennsylvania to go to Amish country, which is like, who's doing that?
Guys, I have been trying so hard to hold my tongue this whole time Marissa has talked. I am a #1 Pennsylvania hater. That place is so boring. All the people who live in Pennsylvania are sad and they don't want to live in Pennsylvania.
Not true.
I have family who lives over by Erie, so closer to Pittsburgh, and you know, I would go visit them growing up, or even now. I mean, I haven't been back there in a while, but it's just the saddest. Everyone's in a bad mood. Everyone just thinks that Pennsylvania, like that's just the border of life. Like you can't leave Pennsylvania. It's just like, okay, we're just doing this now. It is just a sad, boring place. And the cities, I have not been to Pittsburgh. I've heard good things about Pittsburgh. Philadelphia, could not care less to go there. Also doesn't sound like a great city. And where Marissa's parents live is just the littlest nothing town where they have festivals of butter sculptures and hey, y'all, watch how hard my truck can pull this block. I mean, everybody's got their thing. I'm not trying to yuck a yum. I'm just saying, with my personal opinion, it couldn't be me. Sorry.
And that's another thing, excuse me. That's another thing I'll bring up about Pennsylvania. People who love it. Like, they are comfortable there, they love it. And when you tell them you're leaving, they're like, what?
Why would you do that?
Why would you do that?
What else is there besides Pennsylvania?
I got a lot of that when I left.
Oh my goodness.
And then there's also, when you go out into the world, especially, I feel like I've done it a lot recently, I'll tell people where I'm from and they're like, no way, I'm from Pennsylvania too. What part? And it's like, you got out too.
Yeah, you're either, like Marissa said, a diehard, what the heck? A diehard Pennsylvanian who is like, I'm never leaving here, this is the world to me, or you meet other people who escaped and it's like, oh, you got out as well. Where are you from?
It's no matter where I go, you find somebody from Pennsylvania, and it's got to be like, oh yeah, I wanted something else. I mean, I guess that happens with any place, but I mean, it's more prevalent to me because obviously I'm saying it and they're conversating with me. But
one of my favorite bits or jokes that I do is like, if we meet somebody and they're like, oh, where are you from? And I'll say, oh, I'm from blah, blah, blah. And then I'm like, oh, where are you from? And they're like, oh, I'm from, I don't know, Lancaster, Pennsylvania. I'll be like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. It was like
my condolences.
My condolences. I just love crapping on Pennsylvania. I can't help it. I will say, there are nice things about Pennsylvania, like the old colonial housing is cool. They have the old battlefields that are cool. Like, there's a lot of history. I'm a big history guy, so, oh, here come a bunch of motorcycles. It's about to be so loud.
Gang.
Oh, that scared me. That was like 10 70-year-olds just riding their hogs going down Main Street
Saturday morning.
On a cool Saturday. But there's cool aspects to Pennsylvania. I would just never live there. Like an absolute tippy top amount of time for a trip in Pennsylvania is 3 days.
My parents hate to hear that.
I am never spending more than 3 days in Pennsylvania.
They want us to move back.
Oh my goodness.
My mom has said that since the day I moved. She's
never
like,
would
you can
happen.
always come back. You can always live here. What about when you guys have kids? You can live here.
Marissa's mother is Delulu. It's not happening.
We just really like it here, and I feel like there's so much world to, like, if we were to move from here, it would probably be to somewhere else.
Yeah.
To try something new.
Yeah, we want to have new experiences. I absolutely love North Carolina. North Carolina has everything to offer. There's beaches, there's mountains, there's backwoods rural, there's city. I will say North Carolina is getting pretty big. I think it was on a list not too long ago that it's like in the top 5 growing, I almost said countries, states in America. We live about 20 minutes outside of Charlotte, and Charlotte is becoming a really popular city. It's like trying to become its own Atlanta. And there's some crazy statistic where like 100 people a week move to Charlotte. It might be more than that. I personally think it's more than that. But it's growing a lot. And it's like for good reason, because it is nice. It's a good place and like people want to live here. But it is starting to get, I hate to be that like old head towny, but like it's getting crowded, man. There's a lot of people here.
You can't drive anywhere without a new apartment complex being built, new townhomes, gentrification.
Crazy gentrification. And there's almost never a good time to go out anymore in the aspect of traffic. There's always a lot of traffic. I hate.
They don't want to hear about it.
That's another thing of
they don't
being
want to hear about it.
An old head of like, oh, traffic. Because I remember my dad growing up, which when we lived here, 10 times less traffic. And he would still complain about it. And I'd be like, oh my gosh, Dad, are you seriously complaining about traffic? That's like the most old man thing ever. And now, being a husband who commutes into Charlotte for work every day, brother, that traffic is crazy.
Brother, ugh.
I'm also a top tier, I don't know if I'll say top tier. I'm also a mid-tier Florida hater. I lived in Florida for a little while, and there's good to Florida. It's not all that bad, but I'm still not the biggest enthusiast of it. And I used to be like, man, if I can drive in Florida, I can drive anywhere, because Florida isn't even, like, you're not even driving to work in the morning. Your objective is to survive. I need to survive this 15-minute drive to my job. Okay, she's saying dramatic. For those of you who live in Florida or have been there, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That is a lawless wasteland. And when it comes to traffic and people driving, it is survival of the fittest. But my point being, I used to think Florida was pretty bad. And then people would be like, oh, drivers in Charlotte, they're terrible, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, all right, bro, chill. And I gotta say, as of lately, y'all getting a little wild in Charlotte now. It's getting a little too, I'm in a more survival mindset than I used to be, and I'm not a fan of that.
Everyone just wants to either get to work on time or get home on time, and they don't really care about you.
I'm fighting for my life, trying to survive and not die by simply wanting to merge onto I-85. Please, for the love of God, just let me.
I don't understand how so many accidents can happen when people are going 15 miles an hour on the highway.
I know, it's crazy. It's when Marissa and I leave our jobs in Charlotte to drive back where we live, you open up Apple Maps and it's just a solid red line all the way back to our house. It's crazy.
All right. We could be done with the traffic talk.
Sorry,
I don't think anybody wants to hear about traffic, especially if they live through it.
sorry, I'm passionate about
see
the
you.
traffic
We
talk.
hear you.
Hopefully you're listening to this while you're in traffic.
That'd
Hopefully you're listening to this while you're driving your car. And if you are, watch out! That guy almost hit you. Good thing I said something. Now
be
you're
cool. Somebody
okay.
sitting on their couch just had a heart attack.
And if you're sleeping, or like maybe you're trying to fall asleep listening to
This is not the pod.
wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Nightmare, 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 nightmare.
Okay.
We're happy you're awake now, sleepyhead. Well, now we're at the end of our walk. So, on that
What
note,
a fun way to end.
this is going to be the end of our episode 1, but not really episode 1, more like episode 3, but we'll say it's episode 1. And you have anything else you want to say before we're done, Marissa?
No, but this will be a weekly thing.
It's a weekly.
We will, as the title says, be going for a walk every week. It'll get cold, it'll be windy, there'll be rain, but we'll do it. That's
will
the
do
fun
it.
of this podcast.
We're hardcore like that. We are committed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't mean to be cheesy, but have a great week.
Have a freaking great week. Enjoy whatever you do. Do it to the fullest, and we'll freaking see you next time. Thank you so much for going on a walk with us.